What's up, everybody? Welcome to In Love with Horror, your destination for all things horror. And this is your midweek horror news update, y'all. We got some great things to cover today. We'll be talking about a lot about Neon, because Neon, man, they trying to go hard this year. So we're talking about the new Steven Soderbergh film that got picked up by Neon. We'll also be talking about the new poster for a film called Immaculate. It's coming from Neon. And then we'll be talking about some new details on that upcoming genre film from Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. And then lastly, of course, we got some horror movie casting updates for y'all. So that's all coming up. Stay tuned. Steven Soderbergh's new film Presence was bought by Neon at the Sundance Film Festival. So it's been reported by Deadline that at the festival, Presence had about 10 bidders who were all fighting over it, and Neon won the bid. So I feel like that's a good sign that this film, could potentially be fire. Now, Presence is about a family that moves into a suburban home, and they end up, slowly realizing that they're not alone, that their house might be haunted. But now what makes Presence interesting, right, is the fact that it's all shot from the ghost perspective. Like, I think literally the entire film is shot from the ghost perspective, to the point where I was reading a review on the film where they described that even like the ghost becomes a character, but it's all from the ghost POV, and you can interpret how the ghost is feeling by like camera movements and things like that. So Soderbergh is definitely like on experimental, film technique mode,
right? With
conveying just some really interesting concept with it all being from the ghost perspective. Now, there's a ton of buzz with this film. I think there's been reports that, people were walking out of the showing at the festival because they were saying it was too intense. And some of the spoiler-free reviews that I read from the festival, they were saying that in the film there's a lot of like subverting expectations, a lot of twists and turns. It is like a horror thriller. So I don't know how this is going to play out.
Right. Yeah.
This is going to be, I think, very interesting. I definitely like the idea of, trying something very unique and different, because I'm not, at least off the top of my head, not aware of any films that, approach,
right,
something like this in this perspective. Maybe there's some short films or something out there, but like a mainstream film, I can't think of anything. But Soderbergh, he's always, trying unique and interesting things. So I'm sure maybe he got presented this and maybe it was good enough to where he was, oh yeah, like, let's give this a shot. Now, it's also being written by David Coep. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but he wrote the screenplay, and he also wrote Stir of Echoes. But when you heard all this news, babe, what were you thinking in terms of like even just the premise down to the buzz from the festival, people walking out? What were your overall thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. I actually talked about this on my TikTok earlier, but But yeah, I thought it was it's a very creative concept of shooting it this way. Yeah. I have not, like you said, never heard of anything like this before. And then also the whole aspect of people being stressed. I think somebody was like, I can't take this stress or something like that.
Yeah, that was one of the comments. Yeah.
And that sounds like something I say when I'm watching like something like, with that gives you that feeling like, oh, I can't watch this because it's just too stressful, or whatever. So I'm very interested in seeing what kind of things are, happening in this movie where people are so stressed out about it. Now, I think I mentioned to you that it seems like the issue is the family that lives in the house that's causing like the stress or whatever.
Right, because they got some demons of their own.
Right. Some of the actors, when talking about the film at the festival, were like, look, hey, I'm not like this in real life. So I really want to know what the dynamics are with this film. So I'm actually really excited to see this whenever it does hit theaters.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not even no trailer.
Nothing.
There's only like one image that's floating out there.
Yeah.
Like one singular image, like that looks like it's showing the main daughter character.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see and hear more about this film. And you best believe, y'all, once the trailer drops for this, we will definitely do a trailer reaction. And this just get me more excited for Neon's slate of films for 2024.
They are really killing the game.
Because they got some interesting stuff.
Wow, Neon's stepping it up.
Yeah.
They had a few hits last year, but like this year's lineup and then stuff that's going to be coming soon, I think they're really trying to like put their name on the map.
Oh yeah, they're going hard in 2024, y'all. But y'all let us know what are your thoughts on Presence? Like after you're hearing this buzz, like does it increase your excitement for? Did you even know about this film? How do you think it'll play out? Having a film from the ghost perspective. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below.
All right, so we have another Neon news story.
It's all about Neon.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. They are going to be dropping a trailer for a new movie that they have, a psychological horror movie called Immaculate. Now that'll be coming out today when y'all are watching this. We recorded this the day before, but they released a poster of this upcoming film and it looks really cool. Like it's very simplistic, but still I feel like there's a lot to like kind of like decipher from the image.
Right. Yep.
So it's like I don't know. Is she a nun? Do you think she's a nun or she's just?
It looks like some sort of.
She looks
nun
like she's some sort of nun in
the
poster, and then she's like a bloody shirt under her habit or whatever. So I don't know, but it looks really cool. So more about the film. It's about Cecilia, who's actually being played by Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria.
Never watched the show.
Oh, that's right. You haven't seen the show, right? Well, I haven't really like deep dive into it, but I kind of like know some of the key players just because our oldest watched the show and so she talked about it. So that's the only reason why I know about it. But she's a woman of devout faith who's offered a fulfilling new role in an illustrious Italian convent, and her welcome to the picture perfect Italian countryside is soon interrupted as it becomes clear to Cecilia that her new home harbors some dark and horrifying secrets. So it's the premise sounds really kind of like standard, I guess, when it comes to like horror films. So.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of like The First Omen. It has
a
similar.
It does have a similar
concept.
Yeah, like a person coming to a new home because this is
a new convent.
But yeah,
yes, she's coming to a new convent, and then there's some dark stuff.
Some dark stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Now it is being directed by Michael Mohan, who directed The Voyeurs, and it's written by Angela Lobo, who wrote Dead or Alive.
Okay,
I've never watched any of those films.
Me neither.
But yeah, so I personally am on the fence about as far as excitement goes. Usually we talk about how we feel about it, but like I said, the premise seems kind of standard, but the poster looks clean, and I'm anticipating the trailer. Yeah,
the poster's fine. Like I don't think it was anything like special. Like
I just thought it looked real clean and simple.
Yeah, it's very simple, but like it didn't do nothing for me personally, like to get me excited. The premise sounds fine. It sounds similar to like The First Omen, but it's all gonna be about the vibe of the trailer. Like the trailer has a good vibe, and I don't know how much horror is gonna be in this, but if it actually looks scary and stuff like that, like I'm definitely gonna be on board. But we're definitely gonna find out tomorrow because again we're recording this Wednesday night, so tomorrow when that trailer drops, we're definitely gonna check that trailer out to see, what Neon is bringing with Immaculate. But y'all let us know your thoughts on Immaculate down in the comments below. And if you've seen the trailer already, by the time you're watching this, what do you think about the trailer for Immaculate? And is it going to be added to your watch list for 2024? Now, we got new details, y'all, about Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan's upcoming genre film project. Now, it was last week where it was initially announced that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan were teaming up to work on this project, and that of course Coogler would direct and Michael B. Jordan would star. And at the time, it was only being described as a genre style film. There was no additional context. But now there's these rumors floating around that it could be potentially a vampire period piece, and it's kind of weird because I know you said when you initially read the Deadline article, or when the Deadline article was referenced, it mentioned a vampire film. And even if you look at the URL that this article is listed under on Deadline, in the URL, it mentions vampire film.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they weren't supposed to mention it and they try to erase it, but it's still sitting in the URL that says vampire film. But look, y'all, it's potentially that that's the case, right? That this new Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan project is a vampire period piece. Now, also in that same report from Deadline, y'all, they reported that there seems to be 3 studios who are battling over this project that has a $90 million budget.
Crazy.
So that lets us know that, this particular, if whatever this script is, or, whatever, was presented to them, whatever idea, like, it's got to be something that's got, a lot of potential
Ryan Coogler,
to it.
So, I mean, I don't think he's had any misses.
I would argue, though, that some people would consider Wakanda Forever a miss.
How dare they? Really?
Well, because I personally just thought it was okay. I didn't think it was bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think
it like that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was good though. Like, good in the sense of, like, when I walked out, I was like, damn, that was a good movie. I'm gonna give you an example, right? That first Black Panther, I watched that multiple times.
Yes, this is true.
Wakanda Forever, after I watched it once, I was like, I don't need to see it again. I'm not interested.
Okay, well,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, let's take Wakanda Forever out of this equation.
Right.
He doesn't have any misses that I know of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like Wakanda Forever is probably the weakest link in that, filmography.
Okay.
Well, but yeah, continue.
Well, anyway, so I was gonna say, like, because you were talking about how there was like 3 different bidders and all this kind of stuff, and I said, well, it makes sense. Like, I feel like he's a good writer. He's definitely a good director.
Oh, 100%.
And I feel like his content is just, I just feel like he is a good person to create something like this.
Right.
And I don't know, like, I know Michael B. Jordan and him have some kind of like working relationship, and I feel like they work well together.
Right.
I'm not sure what they're going to be creating, but the idea of a vampire period piece with Black people, it seems really exciting to me.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. Like, because they say period piece, I don't really know.
I know, right?
What period they're talking about.
That's the other part, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, well, what period are we talking about here? Because in my mind, I'm kind of thinking something similar to the recent interview with the vampire, which is kind of like, it's not super far back, but it's far enough back,
right.
where there's certain things that happen because there's Black people involved. So I'm just wondering, like, what type of content is this movie gonna contain?
Like, is it gonna be like more historically accurate, like some slaves,
right?
Or something that gets converted to vampires, or something like that? Like,
I don't know. I mean, when we look at some of the earlier works of Ryan Coogler, right? Like, his stuff had a lot of like social commentary aspects,
and it still does. Like, you still find it. Sometimes it's more subtle,
right? Yeah, but it was much heavier, you know. So yeah, I'm just wondering how they're gonna take it. That's all.
Oh yeah. Nah, the period part has me intrigued.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting with it being like a Black focus. But
yeah,
we mentioned that
we're assuming it's gonna be Black focus just because of who's involved.
Well, yeah,
Ryan Coogler himself, I just feel like it's gonna be Black focus.
I feel like more than likely it will be, right? But now we've mentioned that 3 studios were kind of fighting over this. Now, part of that deal is supposedly the potential for it to include co-ownership of this property under Coogler's production company, Proximity Media.
Oh wow, that's actually crazy.
That might be why there is a battle over it, because they're like, oh, maybe we could turn this to a franchise. Like, maybe whatever this idea is has franchise potential.
Okay,
depending on. I'm trying to figure out. Depending on if it's like a fire, like a dope vampire, like in the like
someone who could become like a main like icon type style thing,
right? Yeah, well, it could be like a cool character, like a Blade, or like it's got to be something like that where it's gonna have some horror elements, but I doubt it's gonna be too heavy on the horror.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think it's gonna have some like action component to it, and then it may be this cast of characters that are vampires going to be cool enough to where people are going to want more. It's going to be the Black version of Twilight or something. I don't know, something like that. I'm not sure, but the fact that it's them 2 doing it, I think it's going to be very interesting. And like you said, Ryan Coogler is a great director.
Yes.
And I don't think Wakanda Forever, at least in my opinion, was a miss necessarily because of him. I think they were just trying to work around, the loss of Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. And I think they just didn't really know what to do to really
can see that.
Craft something, that really worked. They did the best they could. That's why I don't think the movie is bad, but it's definitely not
like Black Panther.
One of his better films. But yeah, we're both excited about this upcoming project. Y'all hope we hear more details about this. Obviously, it's still, in its early infancy stages. If they're still trying to, work out buying this. So
I'm sorry to cut you off, but the article did say like they're hoping to get that settled so they can start like going into production this summer.
They're trying to shoot this summer.
Summer.
Okay, so this thing must go stupid hard. It must be fire. Maybe, you know what? It's probably something they worked on during the strikes or something. They could have been in the crib being like, hey, I got this idea about, these black vampires and this, doing XYZ. Like,
that's probably what happened.
They just pinned something, super hard. But we'll definitely keep y'all updated as we learn more about this project, y'all. So make sure y'all subscribe and stay tuned. So as soon as the details come out, y'all be the first to know. But what are y'all thoughts overall on this project? What do you think that this vampire period piece film could be, especially coming from Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan? How do you think their approach on a vampire film could work? And you think it's gonna be heavier in the horror? Will it be light on the horror? Will it have some action component? Will it be historically accurate? Jump down the comments. Let's discuss everything about this potential vampire project from Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan below.
All right, so for our last piece of news, we have our horror movie casting update. So last week we talked about GOAT, the latest movie that is coming out of the Camp Monkey Paw Productions under Universal Pictures. That's being directed by Justin Tipping, I believe his name was. We reported last week that Marlon Wayans was cast in that film. Yeah. Now this week we got news that Tyriq Withers is going to be also casting alongside Marlon Wayans. So the premise that we got right now is that there's like a retired star. I don't even know what sport they said. I don't think they ever said what sport sport it was. A retired athlete and then like a young rising star. They're going to be like working together, like training together. So we're assuming based on this article that Wayans is going to be the retired star and then Withers will be playing the young upcoming rising star. Yep. But now I know Tyriq from other stuff, but I know he was in Atlanta and he was in Tell Me Lies. That was a good show. I don't remember what he was in that though. I'm trying to remember his role, but I did watch that show, but for some reason I can't place him. Okay. But I really know him from this black horror anthology called Horror Noir that came out like Prime. Okay. I don't ever hear anyone talk about that, but he was in that and it was okay. Okay. But I know I think he would be he's a good actor, so I think he would be a good person to play alongside Marlon, I think.
Yeah, no, I think so too. This news isn't a whole lot to go off of, so I don't really have too much to say on it. Like, I'm more curious to see like how this premise is going to play out, especially for to take a horror turn. Yeah, like what's going to be the twist that that happens between the young athlete and the star who's trying to learn from this retired athlete. Like, there's gonna be something weird.
Well, it's got to be something weird.
Something really weird.
I think your guesses that you had were pretty good.
Yeah, like some weird conspiracy, satanic goat sacrificing like shit or something.
Obviously, the goat has to play into it. There has to be like a twist on the goat title.
They're gonna sacrifice a goat.
He could sacrifice a goat. He turned into a goat. I don't know.
Oh, you might. There might be something weird like that. Yeah, actually,
Well, it's got to be something, because I feel like for them to name it that, there's got to be some kind of.
It's gonna be like the what is that called? Like the double meaning, double entendre, whatever it's called. Yeah. Where it's like goat is implied from the greatest of all time, but then it's also like, oh yeah, we actually sacrifice goats and drink their blood or whatever. Some weird,
well, it's got to be
messed up
I'm
stuff.
really ready to find out what it is because it's like that is the most generic synopsis ever. I think for.
Yeah, they're definitely keeping a lot
for a
hidden.
Horror film, it's like usually you get a little bit of something to kind of guide you down the horror path, but this don't give you jack squat.
Oh yeah, no, they're keeping it hidden for sure. Like obviously that lets us know it's going to be something weird.
Yeah,
because they're keeping a lot of it. They
don't want to give too much.
Keeping
away.
the cards hidden. Yep.
Yeah.
But y'all let us know down in the comments below. How are you feeling so far about this upcoming GOAT project? Now we got the main actors that'll be in the film. What are your thoughts on what it could be? You got any, concepts or ideas? Like, do you think the GOAT got a double meaning? Like, what could this be, y'all? Let us know what you're thinking down in the comments below. Well, y'all, this has been your midweek horror news update. We covered some dope stories here. Let us know down in the comments below what was your favorite story that we covered. And if we did not cover a story you want to talk about, drop that in the comments below as well, because we love to discuss all things horror. That's what we do, baby. Now, make sure y'all like this video. Go check us out over on Patreon, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on all things horror. Until next time, peace.